Thank you for tuning in to TTV. I'm your host, Toya, and today is Wisdom Wednesday. So that means we are doing Tao Te Ching. All right, so let's get into it. So this one is called Yin and Yang. This is verse 5. We're on the fifth one now. Um, and I wanted to start out by reading something about yin yang that I found on Britannica.com. For you old heads like me, y'all remember Encyclopedia Britannica? Yeah, so they have a website. So all that information that they used to have out there in the books that we used to have to look and flip through, yeah, it's on the website now. So, and I apologize to you guys. I'm still getting over the last side effects of the virus that's going around. So, Britannica states yin yang. In Eastern thought, the two complementary forces that make up all aspects and phenomena of life. Yin is the symbol of earth, femaleness. I didn't know that would be a word, but femaleness, darkness, passivity, and absorption. It is present in even numbers, in valleys and streams, and is represented by the tiger, the color of orange, in broken lines. Yang is conceived as of heaven, maleness, light, activity, and penetration. It is present in odd numbers in mountains and is represented by the dragon, the color azure. What color is that, y'all? Azure. What color is that? Um, but anyway, so the color azure and an unbroken line. The two are both said to proceed from the great ultimate. Their interplay on one another, as one increases, the other decreases, being a description of actual process of the universe and all that is in it, in harmony. That the two are depicted as light and dark halves of a circle. So it's more on there too if you want to get into it and read more. But that's what Britannica has to say about yin and yang. Which I think is interesting how they put it in there with the valleys and how it is with the earth and the different numbers, because when you start really learning about stuff and how the universe works, you find that all of that is centered around each other. So it all comes back to play. So let's get into reading the verse. And again, I do apologize for my voice, so let me. Yep. Before I get to reading this to you guys, you got to drink that water, y'all. Water. It's the essence of life. Okay, so verse 5. And again, this is the. Trying to do it without losing my page. Okay, so that's the one I use. Okay, so verse 5, yin and yang. Yin and yang aren't sentimental. They exist without moralizing. They act regardless of our wishes, within the ebb and flow of every pregnant moment. The space between yin and yang is like the bellows, empty yet infinitely full. The more it yields, the more it feels. Countless words, countless. Then the silent balance between yin and yang. So I think this is one of the easiest ones. That's basically to translate or give your interpretation on. So as always, I encourage you, leave a comment below. Give me your interpretation, your thoughts on this. What did you think this means to you? As far as it goes for me, yin and yang aren't sentimental. They don't have any emotions in it. It's balance is balance. There's no emotion in balance. It's just how things work. They exist without moralizing. They act regardless of our wishes within the ebb and flow of every pregnant moment. So, yin and yang could care less about what you feel, what you think, what you want to happen, what you want to go on. It can care less. It's here to do a job, and it's going to do its job. Plain and simple. It's nothing else to it. The space between yin and yang is like the bellows, empty yet infinitely full. The more it yields, the more it feels. And I think that too is self-explanatory. You know, there yin and yang isn't just one side or one end of the spectrum. It's the whole thing. It's the whole thing. Everything within it, everything in between. So you may feel it's empty, but it's really full. You know, so and it yields. The more it yields, the more it feels. So the bigger it gets, the more it is there. Countless words, count less. Then the silence, that balance between yin and yang. Words don't mean nothing. They actually mean less, because at the end, it's still about the balance between the two. It's still about that relationship that they have with one another. And again, it doesn't matter what's going on in your life. They don't care. You know, the world is still going to go on. I mean, I know we are the main character in our own movie called Our Life, okay? We are the star. We are the head honcho. We are the one it's all about. But when it comes down to the universe can care less about what it is you want as far as the big picture goes. It all has to balance out. And even when it comes down to you, it still has to balance out. Everything has to balance. As what was his name? Malcolm in Jurassic Park says, nature will always find a way. Nature will always find a way to balance things out. It just, that's just how it is. And even within your life and with you, that's why you have to be careful about the energy you put out, because it's going to come back to you, because it has to balance out. You know, you can't keep putting stuff out and not taking nothing. You gonna get it back. You gonna get it back. It's just, that's the balance of life. That's just how it happens. So they are two opposing forces, but they work together. And some people will say, okay, well, these bad experiences, these bad things, but those bad things balance out the good things as well. Again, I was watching some weird movie. I can't remember the name of it, but it was on Amazon. And this guy had broke into this house and killed the parents. And the kids ended up being orphans, and he felt so bad about it, and he was so guilt ridden over it, even though he wasn't the one, because I don't think he actually pulled the trigger, but he was there with the person who did. And he has so much guilt in him over it that he didn't want to exist. And when he got to go into this special room with these beings, and they showed, well, they didn't show him, but they told him what happened in life. They said, okay, you can push this button and take everything back that you did, and you can undo the day that you did. But let me tell you what happened. So, because you guys end up breaking into these people's houses, and your friend killed their parents, the boys was at the cemetery, and they was praying to they visiting their parents' grave, and a couple of stones over, you had this other lady who was very wealthy, who was also there visiting a loved one, who saw the two boys there, found out they were orphans, felt bad about it, and so she created this scholarship program to send the orphan kids to college. So those two orphan kids ended up getting the scholarship that took them to MIT. Like, it was just like a whole thing that just kept going on and on and on. And because of this one bad thing that happened, all these beautiful things came about because of it. And then you guys know, I've used it before on this channel. It's one that I reference all the time when we think about balance and we think about the bad things that happen to us in life. There's good that comes out of it as well. And I always use Christopher Reeves. Christopher Reeves was the guy who played Superman back in the 70s. And he used to horseback ride all the time. So he fell off a horse. And when he fell off the horse, he ended up paralyzed neck down. Because he ended up paralyzed from the neck down, he wanted to find different ways to help people with this issue. And so he put a lot of, he invested a lot of money, resources. He used his namesake to do a lot of, to boost the presence and the information and the research for stem cell research. And so that is the reason, that one of the reasons is the stem cell research has advanced the way it has, is because this man fell off a horse. If he never fell off that horse, he wouldn't have cared. He wouldn't have cared, because until those bad things happen to us, we don't care. You know, it's like this documentary I was watching last night, Cowspiracies, I think is what it's called. And I'm gonna tell y'all, it did some things to me. I'm not gonna lie. It did some things to me, and as far as psychologically, because the things that we go through, the extent to what we have done to this planet and to this world, is just, there's no words for it. There's no words for it. The good part of it is people are using it as a way of getting healthier in their own lives. And it's their contribution to try to make things right in the world, which is where we have veganism. And it's to counter all the stuff that's going on that I was mentioning that documentary Conspiracy. So you have to have balance. And even though, like I said, we think bad things happen and these things happen and oh, it's so horrible, there's some good in it. There's a lesson to be learned in everything. So just learn your lesson. And remember, we have to have that balance, okay? Yin and yang are not sentimental. They exist without moralizing. They act regardless of our wishes. Okay? Like this is the truth. This is your true wisdom right here. Like this verse. If you ain't, I know we still got, quite a few verses to go. But if you don't get nothing out of any of these, this is the one verse you should be listening to, because it's going to happen. It's balance. It has to balance. So, but anyway, so that was yin and yang out of the Tao Te Ching for this Wednesday. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, give me your take on it. What did you think it mean? What did you get out of it? Leave that comment below. Love you guys. Have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.